Let's get a broad overview of what the migration process from Blackboard to Canvas generally looks like so you can get an advanced understanding of the main issues involved. I'm going to show you what happens when you just select the default options throughout the process without being more selective. This video is going to assume that you have already taken the step of cleaning up and preparing your Blackboard course. Full instructions for that can be found at links.asu.edu/bbprep. This video is also going to assume that you have a Canvas shell to import things into. If you do not know how to get a Canvas shell, go to links.asu.edu/Canvas shell shippers. Okay, let's jump in. This is just an overview at this point. It's not a step-by-step guide yet. So I'll be going over some things kind of quickly, and it's just to give you an idea of what the process is like. So I have two tabs open on my computer, the Blackboard course and the blank Canvas shell. And this is what an empty Canvas shell looks like. And this Blackboard course was the online component of a face-to-face course, and I'll give a brief tour of it so you can see how it's set up. Its main purpose was to store the files and readings, and then of course the Grade Center. And that's pretty common for face-to-face courses, to have a very simple online presence. You see all these links on the side here. They were part of the default blank course in Blackboard, but the only links that are actually needed for this course are announcements, my grades, and content, which is where all the readings are posted. And the rest of these navigation items are extraneous. Let's look at the Grade Center. The default Blackboard course comes with a column called Weighted Total, which most people don't use, favoring instead a total points column. This is a pretty typical Blackboard course. All of these assignments here are set for manual entry of grades. Students submit their papers in class, not digitally, and the instructor types in the grades by hand. So it's a very simple, basic Blackboard shell to support a face-to-face course. So let's export it now and bring it into Canvas. On the export page, you get to choose what you want to include in the export. And for demonstration purposes, I'm going to click Select All and Submit, and when it's done, I can download the zip file. Then in Canvas, I'm going to import it, and I also have the choice of all content or select specific content. Now, I usually recommend selecting content here, but again, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to click all content so we can see what happens. And once it finishes importing, we can take a look around. You'll notice that the default, when you click Home, is to jump to the syllabus page, which may or may not be ideal. I always suggest creating a default home page separate from the syllabus in order to give students a welcome message and guide them with what to do next and how to navigate the course, and we'll cover all that in the next video. So we have our various options here. You'll notice the announcements all came over, which may or may not be what you wanted. Some people want to create new announcements each semester, and if that's the case, then you'll just have to delete these one at a time. But you might want to reuse them. If we go to the assignments page, we see first of all a bunch of strange assignment groups. These are artifacts from the import process. Any kind of calculated column in Blackboard and any kind of assignment category, even the ones you don't use, will come over as what Canvas calls an assignment group. And you see the weighted total here. And if you recall, that was one of the calculated columns in Blackboard. So obviously you won't need all of these assignment groups. So you're going to have to delete them, and it will be one at a time again. If we scroll all the way down, we'll see where the actual assignments came through. These are the Grade Center columns that were in Blackboard. They came through as assignments in Canvas. And the thing to be aware of is that Canvas, for some reason, sets these assignments to be actual digital submission assignments instead of the manual grading that we had in Blackboard. So you'll have to go into each assignment, click Edit, and set it for no submission, which means that the students will not be prompted to submit anything, and the instructor will manually enter their grades as usual. Although I do recommend giving digital grading a try at least once. It does have a lot of benefits to it, but that's up to you. Now, if we click Files, we'll see that they did get imported. However, the Files area is for the instructor. It's not for the students in a Canvas course. The files themselves need to be linked somewhere in the course for students to be able to download them. So if we click on Modules, we'll see that's where they're located. This may or may not be okay with you to have the files in the modules area, and we'll go over what modules are in a moment. But first, just notice that we have this extra module here for course information, and it doesn't have anything in it. And that was from Blackboard's navigation menu. If you recall, there was a course information page there. And even though it was actually empty, it still came over to Canvas as a module. In this course, there was only one of those pages, but in some courses you end up with a lot of these empty or extraneous modules because there were lots of links in the navigation menu that you don't really want or need to be modules. And in that case, you have to go through and delete each one at a time. So something to be aware of in Canvas is that you can't change the wording of the items in the navigation menu over here. So if you wanted to call the modules link course content or readings or something like that, you cannot. It's called modules and that's it. And the word module might be a bit confusing if you're not using the modules tool the way Canvas expects. A module in Canvas implies a guided lesson. So if you click into a module, it shows you the item to read, and then at the bottom of the page there's a next button here which takes you to the next item in the list. And it's kind of meant to be like a lesson where you do this, then you do that, and it guides the students through the course in a linear fashion. And this may be acceptable for your course, or it may not. Your course readings might be meant for more of a reference or repeated use. This video shows what happens when we simply import a course wholesale without being selective. The main issues are that you'll have to delete a lot of things and figure out how to deal with the modules. In the next video, I'm going to propose an alternate workflow that will probably save you time, as well as provide a course that is easier for students to navigate and understand.